Hey, life is ridiculously busy. We all have commitments, we have families, we have jobs, we have phones that bing, bing, bing. What if I told you there was a way to gain an hour out of the day, every day, uninterrupted, just to devote to you? Stay tuned. Hey, welcome to the garage. It's not the swankiest studio, but it's mine. This is the place where I feed my creativity. This is where my silkscreen equipment is. This is where my vinyl cutter is. And this is where I take my graphic design from being ideas and things on a computer into actual tangible goods. And so it's kind of a cool creative space, even though realistically it's my garage. Who am I kidding? This is the time that I carve out in the day just for me. With so many demands and distractions preventing you from moving ahead with your personal goals and self-development, it was really hard for me to figure out how to work on me while not sacrificing what I give to you. You've got all these plates spinning in the air, and how do you keep them going without burning out yourself? And I think the only answer is to find some time where there are no distractions, and for me, that's the early morning. So I want to start this video just by saying I've got a great job. I've got a great day job. I love it. I love leading teams. I love managing change. And I love talking about strategy and bigger picture things. But while I love my job, I miss the tangible things that got me interested in my career. As we get older and as we progress, our lives change a bit. We go from doing sort of the menial grunt work, the entry-level jobs, things that get our hands dirty, and as we evolve, we're given more responsibility and usually end up in a leadership role. And that's great financially because as we evolve in life, we pick up people along the way. We usually get married or have a partner, and we have kids and dogs and commitments, and suddenly there's a lot more people depending on us than there was in the early days of Itchy Band Noodles and downloaded movie night. So I've got a job that challenges me in professional areas, but has me wanting to get back to my roots creatively. And so for personal development, I work on things in this time. I'm into old school analog film photography. I'm into cinematography and film editing, and that's something I'm recently picking up. Heck, I'm even converting old laptop batteries into an electric bike right now. I've got a lot of varied interests, but some of them I've developed into a business, and I do for money. And a great example of that is a brand that my wife and I started called Coal Banks. We're a local brand that reclaims t-shirts from thrift stores and prints original art on them and resells them at independent business. We got this idea of volunteering with local organizations around town and looking at how we can be more environmentally sustainable and responsible and how we could support local charity-driven business with a profit motive. So way back in 1995, I was a student at SAIT and I learned printmaking. And while that was offset press, I had skills that transferred to silk screening. And having been a graphic designer for 25 years, I always wanted to make a t-shirt line. And I think every graphic designer at one time wants to create shirts. They're fun, they're cheap, they're easy, they're fast. And learning how to create original t-shirts is pretty satisfying. So in this garage, I taught myself the art of silkscreen, how to create old school photo emulsion silk screens, and how to use a press, and the ins and outs of actually printing t-shirts. This idea isn't exactly profit-driven, given that every shirt we print on is reclaimed, and so everything fits differently, looks differently, sizes differently, and is set up on the press differently. So you make money in silk screening by doing volume, the same shirt over and over and over again. Our business is more about supporting local and giving back to the community than making profit. If you see how slow we are at printing shirts, it's kind of laughable, and an investor would not touch us with a 10-foot pole. So my side hustle is silk screening, and it's been great, and it's been seasonal, and I plan to get back at it in the spring. Seeing people wearing our brand is really satisfying. But as we got more and more involved in the t-shirt business, people would say, when do you find time to organize and plan and prep the business while having your day job and your kids and everything else? In the early stages, I had to teach myself the skills. No one taught me. And that was done in 5 a.m. sessions like I'm talking about today. So if you think about it, what part of the day allows you to move your personal goals forward? It's really in the morning, and it's at an ungodly hour, 5 a.m. in my case. There's no distractions from coworkers, phones, notifications, family. It's quiet. And it should be quiet, because at 5 a.m., who in their right mind would be up needing something from you at that time? And so getting up at 5 a.m. to work on your personal goals is sort of reserved for a special kind of crazy. I've tried this in a few forms, and it hasn't worked 100%. Over the past year, I joined one of those group CrossFit places, got up at 4:30 for a 5 a.m. workout. In that year, I learned that getting up that early, exhausting your body, and then moving through the day just didn't work for me. In fact, it made me more hungry and more tired and more miserable. And I didn't end up losing the weight that I thought it would anyway. So, I mean, your mileage may vary, but when it comes to professional goals, learning new skills, trying new things, carving out time just for you, working on all the selfish things we never have time to do, it's really paid off. So you're not a morning person. How do you get up at 5 a.m.? How do you train your body to get up at 5 a.m.? There's a book I read called The Miracle Morning, and there's another one called The 5 a.m. Club that talks about this in depth. But this is something you need to ease into. I don't think people just automatically get up at 5 a.m. and start writing a book, start writing their personal manifesto. I don't think it works that way. I think you have to recognize the importance of sleep, get quality sleep, have the discipline to go to bed early, and only then does 5 a.m. start to make sense. Having a plan of what you're going to do in that hour is key. And honestly, that hour from 5 to 6 when no one's bugging you goes by in a heartbeat. So I'm back at it, getting up at 5 a.m. again. I'm using the time to meet with other crazies who also get up at 5 a.m. I have a friend who's a local police officer in the day. Early in the morning, we're talking about collaborating on a film project. That's really cool. And so if you're the typical construction worker who always wanted to be an opera singer, or you're a real estate agent that always wanted to be a personal coach, or you're just looking to gain some skills in an industry that you're not in without impacting your job and your job security, 5 a.m. is an awesome time to upgrade your skills, get some feedback, collaborate with others without hurting anybody else. So just a side note here for Lethbridge. I got to tell you that finding more places to hang out and meet with other crazies at 5 a.m. is paramount. We have lots of cool coffee shops in town, but none of them are open early morning or late at night. If there was a great place like Stoketown or Johnny Beans or Milk and Honey or the Penny or any of the places any of the freelancers like to go and hang out that was open late, I'm there. So what do you think? Is 5 a.m. just for nut jobs, or is it for you? Do you have some personal things you'd love to work on and just can't find the time? I challenge you to get to bed early, get up at 5 a.m., and for 1 hour, focus on moving something ahead. Whether it's a personal project you've always wanted to start, or an Instagram-influenced lifestyle of meditation, or yoga, or gratitude journals, or planning for your day, or answering emails, what are you going to do in that uninterrupted hour? I'd love to hear your perspective, so let me know in the comments below. Oh, and one small thing, if you find these videos interesting and you'd like to see more, I'd love for you to give me a like or subscribe to this channel, and I'll create more content. Either way, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.